Now live. Okay, we are now live.
Good morning, Dietland.
Hello, PJ.
How are you today?
It's Dietland. There's no D on the end.
I've always said Dietland by mistake, but I'll change from now on. It's Dietland. What a beautiful day.
It is. And we are here at Daily Dose in Umhlanga. We're actually sitting up at the top by the church. A little bit windy today, so just excuse PJ's hair blowing in the wind there. And then we got our little performance painting cap on, our new little Remax mascot. So thank you to Robin in Manzimtoti for making this for me. Thank you. PJ, we have done this before in the middle of winter and freezing cold.
I know. Can you believe the weather change?
I know.
The difference in time of year.
Different time of year and season and everything. So, so basically I asked PJ to come back again today because earlier in the year we had just recovered from the floods and wanted to know what was happening and how we could improve on our home at that stage. And now I thought we just do color trends today and one or two little questions that have popped up from people along the way that you can give some advice on as well.
Well, it's so interesting that Dietland invited me. Firstly, thank you so much.
Pleasure, thank you.
And secondly, we're going to talk about color trends for the new year and all that. And as I saw Dietland dressed so nicely with a lovely color dress on, it's so appropriate to the new year color trends that we're looking at. The sage green, sort of greeny look, as opposed to everything's been grey. Most of the buildings, if you look around in Umhlanga, everything's been painted in grey.
Which is what I was going to ask you.
That's been a trend now for the last few years, and it's sort of pretty much overdone. And by doing a bit of research and looking into next year, we're looking at the greens. Like I said, sage greens, exactly what Dietland is wearing today.
And I wasn't going to
wear her eyes too. She's got green eyes too. Can you believe it? So you're on it.
I'm on it. Okay, but I wasn't going to wear this today because I'm actually.
But something said you've got to wear it.
I've got to wear it. I know.
And you did. And lo and behold,
I was going to wear blue, and just as well I didn't because you're wearing blue.
I should have had a green top on too.
Exactly. I know. So if you've got any questions along the way, please just pop them along there, and I will do my best to read them, and PJ can answer. But PJ, you've got a couple of little color charts there. I don't know if we can see them. If you want to hold them.
These are what I actually brought in today, just to give you a sort of an example against the white.
Okay, those are
and they all match Dietland's dress, by the way.
Exactly. So you've got different ones there. So you've got
and that wasn't planned either. Can you believe it?
There's a nice one there, and I mean this bench that we're sitting on is also quite greenish grey.
Sorry about the blue shirt.
No, PJ really didn't get the dress code one today. But PJ, so you mentioned about the greys.
Yes.
So obviously, I've seen it. Oh, sorry. Now we've got a car alarm going. Very sorry. One of the ladies from yoga, obviously. There we go.
There you go.
So what I've seen going into a lot of the homes is people have done their kitchens that sort of dark grey, some of them even black, but they've started painting little patches of the screen. Now I understand why, because it's actually one of the new color trends coming in. And that's, I suppose, is the easy part to change if you've got the grey cupboards. And you can just paint the walls to match whatever the color of the season is.
There's no question grey serves a good purpose, and it's a versatile color. Can go with many colors, the greys. But then this green color also goes with many colors as well. So it works out so well.
Works out well. Okay. And then would you say then that people are starting to move towards green kitchen cupboards as well, or just the painting side?
I think just the painting side. And then they go with colorful curtains, or they can go with a grey or black, nice matte black kitchen cupboards. Which will work well with the green and stuff. But I wouldn't say green.
I was going to say, otherwise we're going to end up back in the 1970s.
Yes, we don't want to go back there again. We're now in the
horrible
2000s.
Okay, so we've briefly discussed color trends. So PJ, actually I want to stick on the grey quickly. This is my last question. But I've got ones in between. But okay, so houses have been painted grey over the years. We've seen black houses externally, their external walls, etc., etc. In my mind, over the years, whenever I've seen it, and please everybody forgive me, I still have a beige coloured house, but in my mind, I've always gone, why would somebody want to paint their houses a dark grey colour? Because when they want to go back to a lighter colour, they've got to do 3 or 4 coats, don't they?
Not necessarily. It depends if you've gone to the pastel grey. A lot of the buildings are actually pastel greys. You get your whites, pastels,
Yes.
deeps, and transparent are the really deep dark colours.
Okay.
People don't really go with those because they fade quicker than normal.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, much quicker. So the darker you are, the quicker it fades. So people go with their pastel greys, like the buildings across the road here,
Yes.
like the one I'm busy doing in Umhlanga now called Protea Hotel,
Oh, yes.
with a sort of a different shades of grey, but not the deep greys.
Okay, that's interesting because I just assumed that on my notes here, I assumed that because it was darker, it would just last longer and be easier in terms of wash and wear, and you don't see the dirt.
So getting back to what you said just now about the 3-coat going back to white, no one's officially going to go back to white again. They're going to go back to pastel colours, whether it's those old putty colours, because putty used to be in a few years ago. That sort of light khaki type colour. You're still going to go with a 2-coat system on top of the pastel, which is fine. But it's quite forgiving with the believe it or not, there's quite a lot of dirt in the air. From the salt air, it carries dirt, it settles on your walls. So going too light is always an issue. That's why the greys work so well, the pastel greys and stuff, because it hides the dirty marks away on the walls.
Okay.
But it is vitally important, getting back to the colour on the walls and stuff, is to also wash your walls at least twice a year. And keep them clean, just with pressure cleaning, hand washing if it's a small house. If it's a bigger building, you've got to get companies in. We can offer the service of actually pressure cleaning the building down.
Okay.
It keeps the look looking good.
Yes.
And it gives you extra longevity out of the paint, because salt air is actually corrosive, not just on metal, it's actually corrosive on paint as well.
Okay.
So it's good to wash the buildings down.
So that's why then the lifespan of the paint on the building is anywhere from 5 to 7 years, depending on what paint
should you wash it, and like you wash your car, obviously not nearly as often as washing your car, but should you wash your building down at least twice a year, possibly once a year, you're going to get extra longevity out of the building, the colour, the look.
And then obviously different types of paint last longer as well, depending on what you've bought in terms of the manufacturer and their warranties, etc.
Yeah, so you get different types of paint. You get your matte finishes, which are invariably used for internal, because they don't reflect light, and you don't want to walk into a house and have all the walls shiny and reflecting the furniture and reflecting light.
Yes.
Whereas matte's fine, like I say, for internal. Whereas externally, you want to go with a sheen paint. It's more washable, it's more durable, and it doesn't hold onto the dirt as much as the matte would.
The matte. So when you see, so I'm going to go into one of the shops and I'm going to buy one of those multi paints that says indoor outdoor. Should I not be doing that? Buy an indoor paint and then a separate outdoor paint, just for general sort of...
If you've got young kids, a lot of people go with their washable paints, like the double velvets and the wall guards internally, because it's easy to wash with the dirty fingers.
Yes.
But generally you want to go with your matte finishes inside. It just gives you a nicer finish.
Okay, so definitely 2 separate paints for inside and outside.
Absolutely, yeah.
So externally, what would I look for then in an external paint?
You want to look for your low sheen pure acrylics, and in the top of the ranges are your Plascon wall and alls, your Dulux wall guards, those types of paints. Those are the best for external. And you get 7 to 8 year guarantees out of them.
Oh wow.
If you paint according to manufacturer's instructions and what have you.
Okay.
And what have you, but it's better to use your sheen paints on the external.
Okay.
Yes.
And then I was also going to ask then, like things like windows, because obviously here at the church there's all the wooden windows. What would we use on wood? Because there is still a lot of wood around, not just only aluminium.
The main objective is also the washable thing and what have you. So if you've got varnish windows, you want to go with a gloss finish, not a suede or matte finish. You actually don't get a matte finish in varnishes. And the same goes with if you're going to be painting your windows, you want to go with a gloss enamel. Many years ago we used to go with suede finishes like your Velvet Glows and your Pearl Glow suede finishes, but nowadays they don't guarantee the suede finishes, they guarantee your gloss finishes. And it's easy washable, easy durable once again.
Yes.
So the gloss finishes on either varnish or paint finish is the way to go on your windows, externally. Yes.
Okay, but you'd use the same
Internally, funnily enough, people hate the gloss look on the inside, so they go with the suede finishes once again. Like your Velvet Glows and your Pearl Glows, they give you that sort of suede finish is what most people prefer.
Okay. And then PJ, one of my friend's sons asked her in the December holidays if he can paint his room.
Hell no. Yeah.
So what advice have you got for this boy finishing matric? And how
Or performance painting. There's no question about it.
He wants to do it himself, PJ. Give him some advice, please. What does he do to start? Just bearing in mind he's a teenager, so the walls are probably filthy dirty and need to be scrubbed down. And then
firstly, he's got to wash the walls down.
With what?
Just with water, a little bit of dishwashing liquid if he hasn't got sugar soap, but invariably the inside walls aren't that dirty, but they do need to be washed and lightly sanded, just to create a key, what's called a key for the paint to adhere to the next layer. Very important, lots of spot sheets. Cover the whole place in spot sheets, the bed, the furniture, move all the furniture to the center of the room. If he's a new time painter like the teenager would be, get lots of masking tape as well. And mask all the skirtings, mask around the doors, and mask the switches, the light switches. Very important. Lots of spot sheets, lots of masking tape.
And newspaper.
And then newspaper, spot sheets, whichever. And then you start with your cutting in. And that means you use your brush and you cut in around your cornices, around your doors, around your skirtings. You cut a strip about 80 to 100 mil thick. And then you roll the surface. So then you roll it out. First cut, then roll. And
so you use the smaller brushes on the edges first?
Yes, what's called cutting. You cut in all your edges first, neatly. Hopefully you've used a bit of masking tape, unless you want to do it freehand. Once you've done that, then you roll it out. And then you go for a tea break or a smoke break, and you come back, you recut in again your second coat, and you re-roll the second coat. And you should be finished with a perfect job. It should all go well.
Okay, so how long should you leave it to dry in between then?
Invariably, it depends on the weather, but with our kind of weather in Durban, just a couple of hours. Touch dry, perfect.
And then the paint that you suggested for inside, definitely a matte sort of...
A matte finish, mattish finish. You can have a slight sheen in the paint, depending what you want. If you've got young kids, but invariably matte's the way to go. Less reflection inside, and that's what people prefer. All right. PJ, in terms of the old days where people used to use stup enamel paint for verandas and things, if they still want to paint steps and all of that externally rather than tile, is there still such a thing? There is still stup paint and stuff, but it's problematic. It's very slippery. If you've had rain on, you've got slops on, and it's been raining.
I know, I've had one or two incidents,
So it's a very dangerous product to use. I still prefer tiling a floor. That's your ultimate, is to tile a floor.
A non-slip tile externally.
A non-slip tile externally. And then you get some floors that have had stup paints on them, and people try and go with a superior product like an epoxy product on top of a stup paint. You can't do that. You can't put a superior product on top of an inferior product. You've got to strip all your stup paint off the floor and then go with epoxy, but it's too expensive. 90% of people wouldn't go that route because the process is so expensive, the product's expensive, and epoxy paint doesn't have any UV resistant products in it. So if it's external, it's going to fade and turn yellow. I still prefer, if you want to spend some money on floors, if they're not too big like passages and stuff, or verandas, rather just go the tile route. Definitely the best route to go,
All right. No, that's perfect. Thank you. I just had to ask that because I actually did nearly slip down the stairs at a client's house the other day, and I told them to put some
strips in, or
rubber strips there.
Like sandpaper strips.
Perfect. And then so we did discuss the color fading, where I assumed that the dark color was actually going to be better.
But they look so good, but they do fade
But then you mentioned then obviously about the UV now. So the external paint's actually got like a UV protection in them.
They do have UV protection, but there's no question the darker colors do fade, and it says so on the container that the dark colors fade quicker. But they do look good. I mean, a dark trim or a dark wall here and there externally always looks so nice. But you just have to bear in mind they fade quicker. That's it.
There's a lot of homes obviously have got that two-tone,
especially internally. It's nice to have one wall that's got a darker look, or a sort of a highlighted wall inside a house, or a lounge, or a dining room.
I had Rochelle on a couple of weeks back as well. She was on my wallpaper. So
or you go the wallpaper.
I know, which you don't want to hear. I know. But in terms of paint colours and paint trends and everything, there haven't been any other questions. I see there's a couple of people that have joined in between. I hope they've all managed to hear us in this wind.
But if you're looking for colour trend, Dietland's dress is the way to go.
My dress,
2023, Dietland's on it.
I'm on it. Okay, that's perfect. So thank you very much. And then yeah, PJ's brought a whole lot of extra little colors, swatches as well, which I'll just take a photo of and pop them on the
That'll be great.
gram a bit later as well. So thank you very much. And then obviously if anybody's got any questions about painting, or they want PJ to come and quote at home or in your business environment, please give us a shout. And
we do residential, commercial, industrial, so we specialize in all of those.
Yeah, and then if you drive around Umhlanga area here, you'll see PJ's board performance painting all over the place. So thank you very, very much. That was quick and easy today.
Thank you so much, Ethan. I really appreciate it. Thanks for inviting me.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then we will chat soon.
Yes.
So thanks, everybody. We'll see you all next Tuesday.
Thank you,
Have
guys.
a super Tuesday. I don't know if that's ended now. Live in